Tonight, slamming into Florida.
Oh, my goodness.
Hurricane Helene slams the Florida coast as a Category 4. The death toll rising, millions without power. More than 24 people killed across the South. Flash flooding trapping victims. Water rescues underway in several states. Where the storm is headed next. Plus, growing concerns of an all-out war erupting between Israel and Hezbollah, with a massive attack that could have taken out a top leader. The attack coming 1 hour after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu delivered a defiant speech before the UN. We'll have the latest from the ground. And
you can hear the silence here. This used to be a national park, but now it's just a quiet, empty place with dead trees.
it used to have some of the most beautiful forests anywhere, but all that is changing. In our latest edition of Last Lands, Bob Woodruff takes us to Cambodia, where the fight to save the pristine wilderness is taking on new urgency. Good evening. I'm Phil Lipoff, in for Linsey Davis tonight. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories and much more, including the mayor of the nation's largest city pleading not guilty to charges today as calls for his resignation grow. Plus, Vice President Kamala Harris in the Arizona battleground, making her first trip to the border in more than 3 years. And if you think store sales don't seem to be saving you as much anymore, you're probably right. A look at the dwindling discounts by the numbers. But we are going to begin with Hurricane Helene tonight, the strongest storm to make landfall in the Big Bend region of Florida on record. The Category 4 devastating the area. Tonight, millions of Americans are without power. At this hour, what's left of the storm is steamrolling its way across several states, the Carolinas, Virginia, and the Ohio Valley, which will then push rain into the Northeast. The storm's reach extending across the South, helicopters rescuing more than 50 people from the roof of a flooded hospital in Irwin, Tennessee. The storm making landfall near Perry, Florida, with howling winds and blinding rain. Drone video showing the widespread devastation in Keaton Beach, Florida. Homes leveled in every direction. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper calling it one of the worst storms in modern history and warning conditions are going to worsen. Our team is across the storm zone tonight. Ginger Z is standing by. ABC's Faith Abube leads us off from Atlanta.
Tonight, Hurricane Helene slamming into Florida, the strongest on record to hit the Big Bend. And tonight, it's proving deadly. Dozens dead, millions without power. Helene delivering devastating damage and flash flood emergencies across the Southeast. The images still coming in. In Irwin, Tennessee, near the North Carolina border, drone video showing a hospital surrounded by raging floodwaters. And you can see people on the roof, more than 50 staff and patients stranded. Helicopters lifting people to safety. First responders navigating floodwaters in Asheville, North Carolina. Swiftwater rescue teams out in force.
People in western North Carolina should consider all roads closed unless you are seeking higher ground.
Helene went from a Category 1 to a Category 4 in less than 12 hours, roaring ashore just before midnight with sustained winds of 140 miles an hour. Devastating storm surge washing buildings from their foundations.
Oh, there goes.
The storm still a 100-mile-an-hour Category 2 hurricane as it barreled over the border into Georgia.
It is a very dangerous environment, and one of our finest has lost his life trying to save others.
Overnight, multiple rescues in Cobb County. And in Atlanta, Swiftwater teams out on boats making dozens of rescues. These neighbors just now making it out of their flooded neighborhoods. We met Daryl Hall and his family, thankful to be brought to safety.
We woke up to probably like 6 to 7 feet of water at 6:30 in the morning in our basement, and it started to rise and it went into our living room area.
More than 4.5 million homes and businesses across the region in the dark tonight as the death toll continues to rise.
And Faith joins us now. Faith, I can see obviously there's standing water where you are. What else are you seeing?
Yeah, Phil, there's significant flooding in parts of Atlanta tonight. As you can see here around me, the mayor has now declared a local state of emergency on top of the state of emergency across the entire state of Georgia. Of course, the recovery efforts continue tonight. Phil?
So many people affected. All right, Faith Abube, thank you. The hurricane leaving destruction in its path all along the Florida coast. Fast-moving storm ripping homes off their foundations, downing trees and leaving very little standing. ABC's Victor Akendo in Perry, Florida.
Tonight, the catastrophic scenes along Florida's Gulf Coast. Hurricane Helene destroying entire blocks in Keaton Beach. New drone video revealing the utter devastation.
Keaton Beach took a hard hit. Home after home severely damaged or completely leveled. This entire canal now littered with debris. And these boats behind me, looks like they were tossed around like toys.
These boats and everything were sitting over in the canal.
And they got pushed this far over.
Oh, yeah.
This is supposed to be a street.
It is a street.
Fonda Neal lives in Keaton Beach. Her home, what she called her happy place, gone.
It's devastating. It is. It's hard to think.
Further south, a 10-foot storm surge tore apart sections of Cedar Key. A dramatic rescue off Sanibel Island. The Coast Guard pulling a man and his dog to safety after their boat capsized, giving the thumbs up. Our Ginger Z was on Treasure Island when Helene hit, showing us the devastation right after.
The ocean pushed all of these boats from more than 200 yards that way across a 4-lane causeway, putting them right in front of all these people's homes.
This is the moment Helene blasted the town of Perry. AccuWeather capturing sparks raining down in the dark. Scott Bembry regrets not evacuating.
I wouldn't advise anybody to stick around for one of these storms. Evacuate when it's time to evacuate.
Homes on fire in South Pasadena, surrounded by storm surge.
Anybody in your house?
From Clearwater Beach to Manatee County, further south,
1, 2, 3.
first responders carrying seniors to safety. Hundreds of people rescued.
Victor joins us now. Victor, the devastation is so clear and so widespread. That's a roof of a house behind you.
It is, Phil. Residents are returning home across Florida's Big Bend. And tonight, these homeowners, they came home to find this massive roof in their backyard. So some are beginning to clean up, others realizing they'll have to rebuild from the ground up. Phil?
Yeah, a long road ahead for sure. Victor Okendo. Victor, thank you. More now on the cleanup and recovery efforts as they get underway in Florida. ABC's Ike Ajachi is in Tallahassee for us with the latest. Ike, what's the latest on the cleanup efforts where you are?
Well, Phil, I got to tell you, Helene did a number here. Now, it is important to note that the storm did move a little east before it hit Tallahassee, and the strong part of the storm was considered on the eastern part of Helene, but it's still caused a lot of damage here from those heavy rains and especially those strong winds which toppled power lines and downed trees right behind me. Take a look at these crews right here. They've been here essentially all day, all throughout parts of Tallahassee, cutting down those large pieces of trees that were hanging on those power lines. If you can actually take a look, you can see one tree still right here that was leaning. You can see on the top of that, they managed to take that out. That was obviously in the way of that power line there. That's the scene that we've been seeing all throughout Tallahassee here, is the crews essentially on these roads, clearing the debris that is blocking the streets from people to go through them, and essentially trying to get this place back to normal. Another issue the wind caused was the aspect of people losing power. Here in Tallahassee, around 40,000 people have already had their power restored. It's around about 77%, and the crews say they hope to get that number to about 90% around 10 p.m. tomorrow night. But all throughout the state of Florida, at the height of this storm, about 1.2 million people lost power. Right now, that number has significantly dropped. It's around 500,000 right now, but crews are still out there working day and night trying to get the power back so people here can get some semblance of normalcy back in their lives, Phil.
Yeah, powerful and widespread storm. Ike Ajachi, thank you. The monster storm is causing widespread damage as it makes its way north, and there are still some concerns tonight. So let's get right to ABC Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, just back from the storm zone. Ginger.
Yes, Phil, it's amazing to see, but more than 400 miles from where that storm made landfall, we still have flash flood emergencies in place in the Tennessee Valley and southern Appalachians. And so, say Johnson City, Tennessee, some of those areas in Virginia are highlighted in that fuchsia color. We have seen so much of that today, actually more than I think I can remember seeing on a map all at once. And it's because of that low pressure system. That's all that's left of it, but there's plenty of water on the backside and a tornado watch still for parts of North Carolina and Virginia for the next couple of hours. So that, as we go through the weekend, know this, that tonight is the worst of the winds. So Indianapolis, you could have a gust up to 55. Paducah, 47 there. And as we go through the evening, those wind alerts will start to lift, but they're still in place all the way down through Tennessee and Alabama. But look at it through the weekend. By Saturday night and then Sunday, that low just keeps circulating over western Tennessee and western Kentucky, and then we'll finally be getting rid of it by early next week, and the winds will really die down. We'll even get a few showers here. I hate to do this, but I have to. It's my job. You see Helene on the map. You see another one, Isaac. That's no threat to land. Joyce way out there. But you see that 30% shot of something forming in the Gulf of Mexico? Some of the computer models, Phil, want to bring something toward the Gulf again next week and next weekend. So we'll be keeping an eye on that.
All right. Well, thanks for the early heads up. Ginger, appreciate it. The other major story unfolding tonight, the question, has the leader of Hezbollah been killed? A devastating Israeli airstrike targeted its leader, demolishing Hezbollah's headquarters in Beirut. Israeli intelligence says buildings were destroyed where they believe the leader was, but there has been no confirmation either way. The U.S. said it had no advance warning of this attack. And tonight, what Iran is now suggesting. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell in Beirut.
Tonight, the question still unanswered in the Middle East. Was the leader of Iranian-backed Hezbollah killed in a massive Israeli strike in Beirut? A series of bombs ripping through a residential area in the south of the city. Israel says it was a Hezbollah stronghold, home to underground bunkers housing its headquarters. Two Israeli sources telling ABC News the target was the group's widely revered leader of 32 years, Hassan Nasrallah. The Biden administration quick to distance itself from the strikes.
I can tell you the United States had no knowledge of or participation in the IDF action.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin saying he was speaking on the phone with Israel's defense secretary as the attack unfolded.
The United States was not involved in Israel's operation. We had no advance warning.
The attack just 1 hour after a fiery speech at the UN General Assembly in New York by Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, calling the UN a, quote, swamp of anti-Semitic bile, and dismissed a ceasefire plan pushed by the US and others.
Don't let Nasrallah drag Lebanon into the abyss. We're not at war with you. We're at war with Hezbollah, which has hijacked your country and threatens to destroy ours.
And Ian joins us now from Beirut. Ian, the Prime Minister's message is pretty clear there. What is Iran saying tonight?
Yeah, I mean, nothing official out of Tehran, but I think if the news comes through that Nasrallah is dead, then there will be some pressure from within Iran to try and respond in some way towards Israel. What we have heard is from the Iranian embassy here. They've issued a statement saying that the attack, quote, changes the rules of the game. Israel, meanwhile, the IDF issuing a warning to residents in certain parts of the south of the city to urgently evacuate their homes. Pretty much within an hour, attacks already began. We've seen some blasts over behind me in the southern suburbs of Beirut, and there's warning that more is yet to come. Phil?
All right. Ian Pannell tonight from Beirut. Ian, thank you. To the race for the White House now. Vice President Kamala Harris made a stop at the southern border. As she has said she will sign that bipartisan border bill that she says former President Trump torpedoed just so he could run on the issue. Meantime, Trump met with Ukraine's president today. Rachel Scott will have more on that in just a minute, but we are going to begin with ABC's Mary Bruce in Arizona.
Vice President Kamala Harris touching down late today at the southern border to tackle one of her greatest vulnerabilities in this campaign, immigration. Harris traveling to the border in the key battleground of Arizona. She's been closing the gap on Donald Trump's lead on the economy, now aiming to fight him on who would be most effective on border security, too. Tonight, the campaign with a new ad.
She put cartel members and drug traffickers behind bars, and she will secure our border.
Tonight, Harris promising if she's elected, she will add 1,500 more border agents and officers, crack down on fentanyl smuggling and human trafficking, and surge resources to the border. Much of this was included in the landmark bipartisan border security bill that Harris supported, but that Donald Trump urged members of Congress to tank just as the campaign was heating up.
Donald Trump called up those folks and said, don't put that bill on the floor for a vote. He blocked the bill, and you know why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
while apprehensions at the border hit a record high under the Biden administration, over 8 million. On the ground in Nogales, Arizona, Border Patrol telling us they've seen a notable difference since the president put new limits on asylum claims. Riding along with them on patrol, we get a first-hand look.
Since President Biden enacted those new asylum restrictions back in June, they have seen a drastic decrease in the encounters along the border, 60% in this sector alone.
But Trump, well aware polls show immigration is a winning issue for him, has tried to pin the situation on the border squarely on Harris, and he's promising an aggressive crackdown.
We will close the border. We will stop the invasion. We will begin the largest deportation operation in American history.
Mary joins us now from Douglas, Arizona. Mary, what does the vice president hope to accomplish with this visit?
Well, Phil, I think the central argument that she is trying to make here is that we can be a nation of laws, but also a nation of immigrants, that you don't have to choose between securing the border and creating an immigration system that is orderly, compassionate, and humane. Phil, she's trying to make the case here tonight that we can be both.
All right, Mary Bruce from Arizona tonight. Mary, thank you. Yeah, also tonight, former President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky face-to-face for the first time in more than 4 years. After the two traded harsh comments this week, Trump telling reporters he has a very good relationship with Zelensky. Rachel Scott reports.
Tonight, Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky standing side by side for the first time in 5 years. And just days after Trump lashed out at Zelensky and questioned the future of some of Ukraine. Trump has made the claim he could negotiate an end to the war in just 24 hours, but Zelensky has said that's not possible. Today, with Zelensky at his side, Trump said he has a good relationship with Zelensky, but that he also had a good relationship with Vladimir Putin, too. Not long after, Zelensky interjects, saying he hopes relations with Ukraine are better than with Putin.
We have a very good relationship. And I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly. I really think we're going to get it resolved.
I hope we have more good relations.
We're going to have, oh, I see. Yeah, but, you know, it takes two to tango, you know.
Trump initially had no plans to see Zelensky. Their meeting at Trump Tower scheduled at the last minute. The former president has repeatedly criticized the Ukrainian leader, insisting Zelensky should have made concessions to Russia to end the war. Trump refusing to say whether he wants Ukraine to win, saying this just days ago.
Those buildings are down. Those cities are gone. They're gone. And we continue to give billions of dollars to a man who refuses to make a deal, Zelensky.
Today's last-minute meeting came 24 hours after Zelensky stood with Vice President Kamala Harris, who vowed to stand by Ukraine and who said what Trump and J.D. Vance have put on the table for Ukraine would be a surrender to Putin.
These proposals are the same of those of Putin. And let us be clear, they are not proposals for peace. Instead, they are proposals for surrender, which is dangerous and unacceptable.
Rachel joins us now. Rachel, what else can you tell us about what happened when former President Trump met Zelensky?
So we know that this meeting between these two leaders did last for just about an hour, Phil, and Zelensky put out a statement afterwards. He called this meeting productive, but look, he is keenly aware that the future of any additional aid to Ukraine from the United States is going to be heavily dependent on the outcome of this election, now just about 6 weeks away, Phil.
Indeed it will. Rachel Scott, thank you so much. Meantime, the Justice Department has charged 3 Iranian hackers for allegedly attempting to interfere with the November election. The hackers, who are still outside of the U.S., work for Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. They are accused of posing as government officials to steal confidential information from the Trump campaign. Attorney General Merrick Garland is warning the DOJ is also tracking Iranian plots to harm U.S. officials, including former President Donald Trump. Both the Trump and Harris campaigns, we're told, are cooperating with the investigation. Here in New York City tonight, the first sitting mayor to be hit with criminal charges, Eric Adams, in court, pleading not guilty to federal corruption charges. The mayor accused of conspiracy, bribery, and wire fraud. Your senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky.
Tonight, 24 hours after becoming the first sitting mayor of New York to be indicted, Eric Adams walked into a Manhattan courthouse to turn himself in.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning.
The mayor was fingerprinted and photographed like any criminal defendant. In court, he told the judge, "I am not guilty, Your Honor." the judge releasing him on his own recognizance, and Adams left court with his lawyer vowing to get the charges thrown out.
This case isn't even a real case. This is the airline upgrade corruption case.
Federal prosecutors charged Adams with 5 counts related to bribery and fraud, accusing him of accepting more than $100,000 from Turkey in illegal campaign contributions and gifts, including business-class flights and stays in luxury hotel suites, all in exchange for official favors. Prosecutors also accused Adams of trying to cover up the benefits he allegedly received, describing a text message sent to Adams by a staff member arranging a Turkish Airlines flight. To be on the safe side, please delete all messages you send me. Adams responding, always do. And Phil, the investigation into the mayor's administration is expanding. Tonight, his chief advisor had her phone seized and her home in Brooklyn searched. Phil?
All right, Aaron Katersky from New York City tonight. Aaron, thank you. Now remembering Dame Maggie Smith, the legendary Oscar, Emmy, and Tony Award-winning actress, known to generations of fans from Downton Abbey to Harry Potter, Sister Act. ABC World News anchor David Muir takes a look back on her extraordinary life.
For more than 6 decades, Dame Maggie Smith, on stage and on screen.
Hello, Mama. Can I tempt you to one of these new cocktails?
I don't think so. They look too exciting for so early in the evening.
For 6 seasons, she was the stubborn, widowed mother, Violet Crawley, in Downton Abbey.
Why dwell on that now?
Because I want the pleasure of saying I told you so.
Playing a privileged matriarch, refusing to change in a modernizing world.
There must be something you can put your mind to.
Like what? Gardening?
Well, no, you can't be as desperate as that.
The role winning her 3 Emmys.
There are plenty of hours in the day. And, of course, I'll have the weekend.
What is a weekend?
Harry Potter?
She was Professor McGonagall in the blockbuster Harry Potter films.
That was bloody brilliant.
Oh, thank you for that assessment, Mr. Weasley. Perhaps it would be more useful if I were to transfigure Mr. Potter and yourself into a pocket watch. That way one of you might be on time.
And Mother Superior opposite Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act.
There are 3 vows every nun must accept. The vow of poverty, the vow of obedience, and the vow of chastity.
I'm out of here with that.
Oh.
I'm always playing these sort of rather sour, faded women, and I'm always in corsets, and I'm always in wigs, and I'm always in those button boots. It's sort of like a kind of, it's typecasting, I suppose. I can't remember when I last appeared in modern dress.
Tonight, Maggie Smith's children saying she died in a London hospital at the age of 89, surrounded by family and friends. And tonight here, Dame Maggie Smith, in her own words.
I've had so much luck and so much good fortune that it frightens me somehow. I always feel there's got to be something, you know, must go wrong somewhere. Maybe I'm just always waiting for it.
An extraordinary career. She'll be missed by so many. David, thank you. There's still much more to get to here tonight on Prime. The flash mob robberies in one of America's biggest cities. But next, the fight to save our last lands. Tonight, the dire implications of deforestation in Cambodia and the people fighting back to save that country's beautiful forest.
Well, it's huge. That's much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, it's huge. It's huge.
The case against Sean Combs might as well just be called the freak-offs. It's all about the freak-offs.
Freak-offs, what prosecutors described as orgies.
Freak-off, what is that?
Him having sex workers have sex with his partner while he watches or participates or whatever.
He was known to have the Midas touch, and now his touch is anything but golden. It's allegedly criminal.
Sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, interstate transportation for prostitution.
The AK-47s, the 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Diddy in court, pleading not guilty and denied bail.
Sean Combs is being treated like a mob boss.
He's explosive.
I can't unsee that Cassie video. You could tell me whatever you want to tell me about him. I cannot unsee the video. This very powerful man in the music industry decided to use his power to hurt others. Time's up.
Diddy, drugs, lies, and freak-offs. Now streaming on Hulu.
One great idea can change your life.
That's what Shark Tank does.
That's the American dream right there.
This collie is for my kids.
What you've done is remarkable.
I'm going to make you an offer.
One of the most innovative things I've seen in my life.
This could be our biggest deal ever.
Emmy-winning Shark Tank season premiere October 18th on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Did you kill Mariota?
Sorry. No, I did not kill Mariota.
How did she die?
When the tests came back, I thought, yeah, holy, are you kidding me?
People think she's innocent. I think she's guilty.
I'm not buying this Little Miss Innocent game.
Little Miss Innocent.
I know it wasn't me. If it wasn't me, who was it?
Only on Hulu.
Hi, my name is Patrice. I am a totally cool person with a disability. Patrice always sees the best side of life. I just looked at her and I said, would you like to be my wife?
If you get married and you're collecting a Social Security benefit, your benefit will be cut.
I don't take anything for granted.
I don't see what anyone can see in anyone.
They're never gonna stop us from loving each other.
3, 2, 1.
It's a 24/7 life together.
It's not about the fear or the risk. It's about the love of flying. 3, 2, 1.
When you're 61 years old, you have very few opportunities to change your life. This time, I have to be ready. This is about everybody like me. I see a future, which is not what I felt like for a really long time. I don't feel invisible now.
Welcome back. Our planet's forests are critical in the fight against climate change. And tonight, we want to take you to the front lines of this fight, Cambodia. The country used to be filled with pristine wilderness and beautiful parks, but the push to develop is taking its toll. So in a sneak peek of the ABC News Live original series, Last Lands, Bob Woodruff introduces us to people fighting to save that country's national parks before it's too late.
Something is happening outside of Cambodia's capital city. To document it, we're going beyond the city's growing economy, its expanding factories. Cambodia actually has one of the highest deforestation rates in the world. But ironically, on paper, the country is supposed to be made up of stunning nature reserves. We've hired local fixer and journalist Srey Vuda. He says there's a place where we can see what's really happening here. Where are we going now?
Right now we are going to the Bottom Sakor National Park.
Bottom Sakor is about 500,000 acres of land, a 6-hour drive from the city. It was declared protected in the early 90s, but for years now, companies based out here have stopped journalists from filming in the park.
You can't see them in the back.
I have a tinted window in the back as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Vuda says guards often stop them.
The first procedure, they will ask us to delete everything. That's they normally do like that, if they catch us.
But he thinks he can take us in. Discreetly.
Camera down, camera down, camera down.
Vuda says there are companies building out here and that they have private security patrolling the roads.
So you think we should not even open the windows to shoot?
No. That's why we have the tinted window. But be ready with the camera. Company security guards with the military uniform right in front of us on the right. You can see a lot of construction and buildings out there. You can see
that big building up there?
buildings, yes.
What is that then? Is that like a city?
That's a small city, Chinese city.
Huh. It's pretty much all Chinese companies based there?
Yeah.
Finally, we spot some forestry. But as we begin to hike through, we see what has happened to this park.
You can hear the silence here. This used to be a national park, but now it's just a quiet, empty place with dead trees. What they do here is they come and they cut down the most valuable ones, haul them off for a lot of money. The ones that don't have that value, they just burn them and leave them behind. In fact, you can see in the distance all this smoke that's rising out of that beautiful forest.
Despite being protected, recently revealed documents show that over 80% of the park had been sold over the years to private companies. It's hard to tell where these concessions begin and where they end. Over the border of Batom Sakor, we head only 30 miles north to another national park.
Tell me the name of this river and where we're going.
We are now on the Stunbrod River, right next to the Cardamom Mountains.
Here, unlike the land surrounding it, the trees in the Cardamoms National Park are standing tall.
Cambodia's lost 30% of its forest in the last 20 years. So this is really the last hope for an intact forest. And what's great about it is it's not a long, narrow strip. It's a large piece of forest. If you protect the borders of it, it's very hard to destroy. It's defensible.
It is the largest surviving rainforest in all of Southeast Asia. It's even believed to be the last unbroken elephant corridor in all of Asia.
National parks like Cardamon's National Park, it's the only hope. If you look at the burning going on in Cambodia, the 30% loss of forest, it's not just the amount, 30%, but it's this fragmentation of the ecosystem. There's no intact forest that's holding together. So as soon as you fragment it, everything dries out, everything breaks down, and there's no habitat for anything to survive. So then it breaks down even further.
For years, Cambodians and outside activists have fought to keep the Cardamoms intact.
This, we ordained this tree because it's the endangered species timber.
But in recent years, the government itself has finally joined them.
What changed? Why is the government now backing it?
Because there's so much land grabbing and there's so much danger for the forest to disappear forever. And a lot of the people grabbing the land are high level, even military, that the Prime Minister has decided to counterattack.
And that counterattack looks like this. A small army of park rangers, many are armed. Organized and operated by the Wildlife Alliance. They work with dozens of Cambodian rangers and employ retired foreign soldiers from around the world, including some former special forces. Eddie Lefter was once a member of the French Foreign Legion. Out here, he is in charge.
This, it's changed the direction.
They are here to survey and combat illegal logging and poaching in the Cardamoms.
So here is the illegal logging, or here is illegal logging. So we knew how to go, yeah? And remember, who remembers this map? 150,000, what does the score represent?
These rangers live in stations like this, scattered throughout the park.
You've seized all of this
so as you see, huge
lumber,
amount, yes,
vehicles.
huge amount of the timber, vehicles, bulldozers, excavators. This station I have a total of 16 rangers. So yeah, and another patrol unit, which is just right now, they're coming from the long patrol, 4 days patrol.
Wow.
John, go under the station, So they're coming from, yeah, see, they have snares from 4 days long patrol.
So they don't have chainsaw. Oh, there's one chainsaw right there. So now they're going to unpack right here?
Yes, they're gonna unpack.
They return with 8 confiscated chainsaws, several snares used for poaching, even some homemade guns.
Explain. You were out there with them, right?
Yeah, right.
So you come weaponed every time where you go. You bring.
Yeah, we have military police join us all the time because most of the offender, they form military, they form army, so therefore we have to have them as our security.
So you busted him, illegally hauling the.
Yeah, as you see,
timber.
Quite big.
They cut at night, or
they cutting daytime, but nighttime is transporting because, of course, he feels more secure to coming back with his shipment.
The Cardamoms National Park spans over 2 million acres of land. To cover it, the rangers use motorbikes and record their patrols. They eventually hike into the forest to track illegal logging. Fallen timber could be a sign that they're getting close.
Yeah, you hear it, yeah. You hear the noise of the chest.
This time, the culprits don't hear the rangers coming.
Oh, they're running.
Yeah, they're running.
They're caught, their equipment confiscated, and given a hefty fine.
I know that we've been told by some of them this is the only job they can get.
Exactly. Usually they're working for a trader, yeah? And he's telling, okay, you bring this me timber, I paying this amount of money.
This one is first-class timber, and this one is
a rare species.
Rare.
It's protected.
Oh, this is very rare.
Yes, very rare.
Are these the ones that cost their $1,000?
And Phnom Penh should be over $1,000 there. The whole program, it's about 200, includes me. We are 210 rangers.
210 rangers, is that enough?
No, it's not enough. Definitely it's not enough.
How many do you need?
I think maybe even another 200.
We're going to head about 2 hours down the road now to another patrol area.
Here is one of the main evidence store, which from all different stations.
Wow. How many are there?
This is over 7,000 chainsaws confiscated.
7,000.
Yeah.
So how many years of collection?
10 years of hard work. All these chainsaws, you can imagine how much forest destruction.
Yeah, no doubt a lot of damage. Bob, thank you for that. You can watch a full all-new episode of Last Land streaming tonight on ABC News Live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, and then on Hulu and Disney+. There is still much more to get to here tonight. Coming up, Chappell Roan canceling some upcoming performances and why some are applauding her reasoning. Why the rising star says she's taking a short break. But next, if you think store sales don't seem to be saving you as much anymore, you might be right. So we're going to take a look at the dwindling discounts by the numbers.
Amanda Riley was a mother, wife, speaker at her church.
Everybody loved her.
She got diagnosed with cancer.
I heard the words, "You have stage 3 blood cancer."
When Amanda told me she had cancer, I was so devastated.
A beloved young Christian woman fighting a battle undeserved. We gave our hearts, our prayers.
We thought she was God's gift, but she was a liar.
Why would somebody fake cancer?
Thousands of people threw money at her.
The community raised $100,000.
What surprised me is the lengths that she went to fake the cancer. There's all these pictures of her in the hospital with IVs, tubing.
She was accused of faking cancer. She hurt tons of people.
It was only a matter of time until Amanda's whole world came tumbling down.
Oh my God!
I was like, ha, you're lying and you're getting caught. This is over. But it wasn't, not even close.
Scamanda premieres October 9th on ABC and stream on Hulu. Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting. From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
This is a world that is changing very quickly. This was just filled with forests.
There.
Let's tell the freaking world.
One of my students is ringworm.
Ringworm?
No, get back. Cancel classes. Burn Abbott down. Hello, Miss Teagues.
Hello, Mr. Eddie. Hope your day's going well. HR is here today, so if anyone has something they want to file, raise your hand. Not about me, about other things. Make some noise!
These are the takeout menus I gave you. Those were suggestions that we should go out to dinner. You're sick.
Write that down.
Come on.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
Welcome to the best season of the year. Football. Welcome to the comebacks, the stars, the exclusives, the comedy, and the best booth in the game.
Is that a new tie? Sure is.
Welcome to a dynasty in the making, a sibling rivalry for the ages. Welcome to the 2024 NFL season.
What are you doing?
Seriously?
These are my buttons. Only I press these buttons.
Reporting from the 2024 Democratic Convention in Chicago, I'm Jay O'Brien. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. Inflation is finally slowing down, but if you're noticing everything from potato chips to pajamas still seem to cost more than before, that's because online discounts just aren't what they used to be. So we dive deep into the coupon books and look at dwindling discounts by the numbers. The average online discount is down to 36% this year. That's according to Centric Market Intelligence. That's down 14% from 2019. The cost of raw materials is partly to blame, but so is the American consumer's obsession with online shopping. 16 cents of every dollar spent on retail in this country is spent online, according to the Department of Commerce. It was only 11 cents of every dollar spent in pre-pandemic days. It is 3 to 4 times as expensive to fulfill online purchases than orders for brick and mortar stores. And brands now have to pay more to appear at the top of search terms. Their ad costs gone up 40%, hoping that you'll click add to cart. All that translates to retailers having less capacity for sales. Back in 2019, 42% of all stock online was discounted in some way. This year, just 28% of stock was discounted, according to data that goes through July. The good news is that the biggest discounts, as you know, come at the end of the year when retailers will try to entice shoppers to splurge just ahead of the holidays. So do keep an eye out for discounts, especially in November. There is much more still ahead here on Prime. The rules for next week's vice presidential debate have been finalized, and they will not be the same as the rules for the presidential debates. And Latin activist and founder of Latina Rebels, Prisca Dorcas Mejia Rodriguez, is now out with her new book, attempting to heal the pain caused by colonization and sexism, often with humor.
Hi, my name is Patrice. I am a totally cool person with a disability who could do most anything. Patrice always sees the best side of life.
Patrice is a big magnet for people.
If it can be done, she will do it. I really love Gary. He's everything. He just looked at her and I said, would you like to be my wife?
If you get married and you're collecting a Social Security benefit, your benefit will be cut.
We have to have it. We'd never be able to pay for the bills. I don't take anything for granted. To us. To us.
You're a part-time lover and a full-time friend. The monkey on your back is the latest trend. I don't see what anyone can see in anyone else.
People think people with disabilities have no value.
You
need to tell your story, and people can listen and say, this is why benefits are extremely important.
I don't see what anyone can
I
see.
want to get married. I want to be able to live in the same house as my spouse.
Here is the church and
they can stop us from getting married. They can stop us from living together, but they're never going to stop us from loving each other. This law needs to change, and we're going to do what we have to do to make this happen. Patrice is good at making dreams come true. Who wants to get married? You're something else, you know that? Yeah.
Let's tell the freaking world.
One of my students is ringworm.
Ringworm?
No, get back! Cancel classes, burn Abbott down! Hello, Miss Teagues.
Hello, Mr. Eddie. Hope your day's going well. HR is here today, so if anyone has something they want to file, raise your hand. Not about me, about other things.
Make some noise!
These are the takeout menus I gave you.
Those were suggestions that we should go out to dinner. You're sick.
Write that down.
Come on.
David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, the most watched newscast in America, and honored with the Emmy Award, winner for Outstanding Live News Program.
Hey, good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I am in.
I'm in.
I'm in too. I'll be here.
Shall we have a little fun?
welcome to my haunted house.
It's showtime.
You can be a ghost here just like this.
Everything's led to this moment.
This sounds fun.
31 Nights of Halloween. Watch all October on Freeform.
Welcome back. The FBI is on the hunt for 3 Iranian hackers. Allegedly, they sought to assist the Democratic presidential campaign. Pop star Chappell Roan canceling appearances, citing her health. And ahead of the election, Newsmax settling a defamation suit filed by the voting machine company Smartmatic. Those stories and more in tonight's rundown.
The Justice Department unsealed criminal charges against 3 Iranians over alleged involvement in hacking emails from former President Trump's campaign. Federal prosecutors said the hacking started in 2020 and continued until this month. Iranians allegedly target accounts of people associated with Trump's campaign, then tried to send the hacked information to people they believed were with the former Biden campaign, though none responded. Officials say those charged worked for Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. The rules for Tuesday's vice presidential debate have been revealed. One notable change from the presidential debates: microphones will not be muted for one candidate while the other is speaking. The debate's host, CBS News, said, however, it reserved the right to turn off a candidate's microphone. Other guidelines detail where Tim Walz and J.D. Vance will stand in their allotted time to answer questions. There will also be no opening statements or audience. Officials in Los Angeles are investigating a series of flash mob robberies at 7-Eleven stores. The LAPD released video of one such robbery showing dozens of young people on bikes approaching a 7-Eleven this week and charging into the store, leaving with large numbers of items. Officials say there have been 14 incidents dating back to July, with most happening Friday evenings, adding they've set up extra patrols outside stores. Singer Chappell Roan announced she's canceling some upcoming appearances to prioritize her health. The Hot to Go singer was scheduled at the All Things Go Festival in New York and Washington this weekend, but announced on Instagram she was unable to perform and that things had gotten overwhelming over the past few weeks. Roan has had a breakout year, but has discussed struggling with her rising fame and received backlash over her recent comments about the election. Newsmax reached a settlement with voting machine company Smartmatic in a defamation lawsuit that accused the cable news channel of spreading false claims about the 2020 presidential election. Smartmatic said Newsmax published false reports that said the company rigged the election in favor of the Joe Biden campaign. Newsmax argued it was reporting on newsworthy claims of fraud. Opening arguments had been set for Monday before the settlement was announced.
The European Union has fined Meta over $100 million after a password security lapse. The fine from the Irish Data Protection Commission stems from an investigation that began in 2019 after Meta notified the commission that some passwords have been stored in plain text internally, meaning they weren't encrypted and could be searched by employees. Meta said it took immediate action to fix the problem, and there was no evidence that the passwords were abused or accessed improperly.
We turn now to celebrating Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month. Our next guest's latest work has been called part memoir, part sociology, and the women's family reunion you've always wanted. Author Prisca Dorcas Mojica Rodriguez delves into a soul-nourishing journey that celebrates the women and often overlooked heroines in her life in her newest release, Tias and Primas, on knowing and loving the women who raise us. Prisca joins us now. Thanks so much. So good to see you. I'm excited to talk to you about this. Tias and Primas translates into aunties and cousins who identify as women, and you acknowledge that the many that have impacted your life using distinct archetypes. Why was it so important to write, in one form or another, really a love letter to each of these archetypes?
I think because I'm sick of media depicting us into these narrow stereotypes. So it was my attempt to say, no, you're getting it all wrong. There's so much more dense and complex and funnier and meaner, and they're just so much more than you have ever imagined. So it was a response, I think, to what I've seen in media for years.
And you write, and we'll quote this world is not going to get nicer, but not allowing it to strip us of delight is a battle worth fighting. Otherwise, we will continue to raise girls just like us, the good and especially the bad. Someone has to end those cycles. End quote. So has the conversation about generational impacts, how has it been experienced by you and the women around you?
I think it's so insidious that I've only tried to scratch the surface. But I have like this prima perfecta, who's an archetype in the book, and the ways that some of us are raised to be perfect, to never make mistakes, to make our parents proud. I think that starts to weigh on us when that's the expectation for some of us. And that comes from our moms were taught to be that way, our grandmothers were taught to be that way. So that's one way but every chapter sort of has these different topics around generationally what we are doing and how to stand up against it.
How do these archetypes work together to serve one another?
I think that is the book. It's meant to extend a lot more grace to the archetypes, to these women, which ultimately I think extends more grace to ourselves to be so much more and to understand that we're fighting, we are living and fighting systems that are in a lot of ways out of our control. So it's an appreciation to us and everything we do.
Look, you even included yourself in the book as one of the archetypes, as Tu Tia La Loca. I'm wondering, how is this book served as a kind of a, because every time you write something, it's sort of your baby and it helps you process things. How did this book do that for you?
I think I'm still processing what it does, because there's one thing when you write it alone in your office and in the company of yourself. And then there's another thing when people are reading it and have their feedback around it. I'm in a lot of the archetypes. I'm also in the your childless Tia. And I think I'm starting to realize how much grief I still hold in that as somebody who was raised to and was told the greatest thing you can become is a mother. And because of infertility issues, I just haven't had to do that. I haven't been in that position. And so I've embraced being child-free and what that means for me, but I don't think I've stayed in over-intellectualizing it, and I don't think I felt it. And writing it, I felt it. Hearing me do the audiobook, I felt it. And then hearing people connect with that chapter, I'm feeling it in another whole new way.
Well, that's beautiful. That means it's therapeutic for you as well, not just your readers.
Definitely. Yeah.
Prisca Dorcas Mojica Rodriguez, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We really appreciate it. And you can purchase Tias and Primas on Knowing and Loving the Women Who Raise Us wherever books are sold. That's our show for this hour. I'm Phil Lipoff. Stay with ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. And thanks for streaming with us. And coming up in the next hour, Hurricane Helene and its massive storm surge kills dozens of people and devastates mile upon mile of the Florida coast. And a mother-daughter team in Europe, one an art restoration expert, the other a microbiologist training bacteria to restore frescoes hundreds of years old.
Did you kill Mary Yoder?
Sorry. No, I did not kill Mary Yoder. So it was a normal day until Mary started getting sick. No one really knew what was happening.
Her eyes just looked terrified. In less than 48 hours, my mom went from her healthy self to having died.
This is a mystery. How did she die? They begin to do this autopsy.
It's just screaming, toxin, toxin, toxin.
Did somebody intentionally do this to her?
When the tests came back, I thought, yo, holy, are you kidding me?
I had dated Adam. I was scared of him. It changed the way I see the world.
She was really afraid for her life.
I do think Bill could have killed Mary. His wife died in July, and in November, he was dating his sister-in-law.
There was nothing in the world that was making sense at that point.
Caitlin Conley was guilty as sin.
Are you okay?
I'm scared.
This girl thought she was smarter than everybody else. But there's another side to Caitlin Conley.
Well, I'm not buying this little Miss Innocent game.
Sequoia's a very small town. Everybody knows everybody.
My garden club is very divided. People think she's innocent. I think she's guilty.
Never heard of a case like this. Maybe a thriller.
It was pure evil.
We weren't quite sure what was coming next. I know it wasn't me. Sorry. So, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Little Miss Innocent. Passion, poison, prison. Only on Hulu.
You're watching America's #1 streaming news, ABC News Live. Breaking news, exclusives, live reporting across the globe. Keep streaming with ABC News Live.
Welcome to the best season of the year. Football. Welcome to the comebacks, the stars, the exclusives, the comedy, and the best booth in the game.
Is that a new tie? Sure is.
Welcome to a dynasty in the making, a sibling rivalry for the ages. Welcome to the 2024 NFL season.
What are you doing?
Seriously?
These are my buttons. Only I press these buttons.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
And good evening. I'm Phil Lipoff in tonight for Linsey Davis. We begin with Hurricane Helene, the strongest storm to make landfall in the Big Bend region of Florida. The Category 4 storm devastating the area tonight. Millions of Americans are without power. At this hour, what's left of the system is steamrolling its way across several states, the Carolinas, Virginia, and into the Ohio Valley, which will then push rain up into the Northeast. The storm's reach extending across the South. Helicopters rescuing more than 50 people from the roof of a flooded hospital in Irwin, Tennessee. Helene made landfall right near Perry, Florida, with howling winds and blinding rain. Our team is across that storm zone right now, and Faith Abube leads us off from Atlanta.
Tonight, Hurricane Helene slamming into Florida, the strongest on record to hit the Big Bend. And tonight, it's proven deadly. Dozens dead, millions without power. Helene delivering devastating damage and flash flood emergencies across the Southeast. The images still coming in. In Irwin, Tennessee, near the North Carolina border, drone video showing a hospital surrounded by raging floodwaters. And you can see people on the roof, more than 50 staff and patients stranded. Helicopters lifting people to safety. First responders navigating floodwaters in Asheville, North Carolina. Swiftwater rescue teams out in force.
People in western North Carolina should consider all roads closed unless you are seeking higher ground.
Helene went from a Category 1 to a Category 4 in less than 12 hours, roaring ashore just before midnight with sustained winds of 140 miles an hour. Devastating storm surge washing buildings from their foundations.
Oh, there goes.
The storm still a 100-mile-an-hour Category 2 hurricane as it barreled over the border into Georgia.
It is a very dangerous environment, and one of our finest has lost his life trying to save others.
Overnight, multiple rescues in Cobb County. And in Atlanta, Swiftwater teams out on boats making dozens of rescues. These neighbors just now making it out of their flooded neighborhoods. We met Daryl Hall and his family, thankful to be brought to safety.
We woke up to probably like 6 to 7 feet of water at 6:30 in the morning in our basement, and it started to rise and it went into our living room area.
More than 4.5 million homes and businesses across the region in the dark tonight as the death toll continues to rise.
All right, Faith Abube, thank you. Helene leaving destruction in its path all along the Florida coast. The fast-moving storm ripping homes off their foundations, downing trees, and leaving very little standing. Our Victor Akendo is in Perry, Florida.
Tonight, the catastrophic scenes along Florida's Gulf Coast. Hurricane Helene destroying entire blocks in Keaton Beach. New drone video revealing the utter devastation.
Keaton Beach took a hard hit. Home after home severely damaged or completely leveled. This entire canal now littered with debris. And these boats behind me, looks like they were tossed around like toys.
These boats and everything were sitting over in the canal.
And they got pushed this far over.
Oh, yeah.
This is supposed to be a street.
It is a street.
Fonda Neal lives in Keaton Beach. Her home, what she called her happy place, gone.
It's devastating. It is. It's hard to think.
Further south, a 10-foot storm surge tore apart sections of Cedar Key. A dramatic rescue off Sanibel Island. The Coast Guard pulling a man and his dog to safety after their boat capsized, giving the thumbs up. Our Ginger Z was on Treasure Island when Helene hit, showing us the devastation right after.
The ocean pushed all of these boats from more than 200 yards that way across a 4-lane causeway, putting them right in front of all these people's homes.
This is the moment Helene blasted the town of Perry. AccuWeather, capturing sparks raining down in the dark. Scott Bembry regrets not evacuating.
I wouldn't advise anybody to stick around for one of these storms. Evacuate when it's time to evacuate.
Homes on fire in South Pasadena, surrounded by storm surge.
Anybody in your house?
From Clearwater Beach to Manatee County, further south,
1, 2, 3.
First responders carrying seniors to safety. Hundreds of people rescued.
I got you, sweetie. All right.
Thanks to Victor Akendo. The monster storm is causing widespread damage as it makes its way north, and there are still some concerns tonight. So let's get right to ABC Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, just back from the storm zone. Ginger.
Yes, Phil, it's amazing to see, but more than 400 miles from where that storm made landfall, we still have flash flood emergencies in place in the Tennessee Valley and southern Appalachians. And so, say Johnson City, Tennessee, some of those areas in Virginia are highlighted in that fuchsia color. We have seen so much of that today, actually more than I think I can remember seeing on a map all at once. And it's because of that low pressure system. That's all that's left of it, but there's plenty of water on the backside and a tornado watch still for parts of North Carolina and Virginia for the next couple of hours. So that, as we go through the weekend, know this, that tonight is the worst of the winds. So Indianapolis, you could have a gust up to 55. Paducah, 47 there. And as we go through the evening, those wind alerts will start to lift, but they're still in place all the way down through Tennessee and Alabama. But look at it through the weekend. By Saturday night and then Sunday, that low just keeps circulating over western Tennessee and western Kentucky. And then we'll finally be getting rid of it by early next week. And the winds will really die down. We'll even get a few showers here. I hate to do this, but I have to. It's my job. You see Helene on the map. You see another one, Isaac. That's no threat to land. Joyce way out there. But you see that 30% shot of something forming in the Gulf of Mexico? Some of the computer models, Phil, want to bring something toward the Gulf again next week and next weekend. So we'll be keeping an eye on that.
All right. Well, thanks for the early heads up. Ginger, appreciate it. The other major story unfolding tonight, the question, has the leader of Hezbollah been killed? Israeli intelligence says buildings were destroyed in an airstrike where they believe the leader was, but there has been no confirmation either way. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell in Beirut for us.
Tonight, the question still unanswered in the Middle East. Was the leader of Iranian-backed Hezbollah killed in a massive Israeli strike in Beirut? A series of bombs ripping through a residential area in the south of the city. Israel says it was a Hezbollah stronghold, home to underground bunkers housing its headquarters. Two Israeli sources telling ABC News the target was the group's widely revered leader of 32 years, Hassan Nasrallah. The Biden administration quick to distance itself from the strikes.
I can tell you the United States had no knowledge of or participation in the IDF action.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin saying he was speaking on the phone with Israel's defense secretary as the attack unfolded.
The United States was not involved in Israel's operation. We had no advance warning.
The attack just 1 hour after a fiery speech at the UN General Assembly in New York by Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, calling the UN a, quote, swamp of anti-Semitic bile, and dismissed a ceasefire plan pushed by the US and others.
Don't let Nasrallah drag Lebanon into the abyss. We're not at war with you. We're at war with Hezbollah, which has hijacked your country and threatens to destroy ours.
Ian Pannell from Beirut tonight. Back here at home, the race for the White House. Vice President Kamala Harris made a stop on the southern border today. She has said she will sign that bipartisan border bill that she says former President Trump torpedoed just so he could run on the issue. Meantime, Trump met with Ukraine's president. Rachel Scott will have more on that, but first, ABC's Mary Bruce in Arizona.
Vice President Kamala Harris touching down late today at the southern border to tackle one of her greatest vulnerabilities in this campaign, immigration. Harris traveling to the border in the key battleground of Arizona. She's been closing the gap on Donald Trump's lead on the economy, now aiming to fight him on who would be most effective on border security, too. Tonight, the campaign with a new ad.
She put cartel members and drug traffickers behind bars.
and she will secure our border.
Tonight, Harris promising if she's elected, she will add 1,500 more border agents and officers, crack down on fentanyl smuggling and human trafficking, and surge resources to the border. Much of this was included in the landmark bipartisan border security bill that Harris supported, but that Donald Trump urged members of Congress to tank, just as the campaign was heating up.
Donald Trump called up those folks and said, don't put that bill on the floor for a vote. He blocked the bill, and you know why? Why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
While apprehensions at the border hit a record high under the Biden administration, over 8 million. On the ground in Nogales, Arizona, Border Patrol telling us they've seen a notable difference since the president put new limits on asylum claims. Riding along with them on patrol, we get a first-hand look. Since President Biden enacted those new asylum restrictions back in June, they have seen a drastic decrease in the encounters along the border, 60% in this sector alone. But Trump, well aware polls show immigration is a winning issue for him, has tried to pin the situation on the border squarely on Harris, and he's promising an aggressive crackdown.
We will close the border. We will stop the invasion. We will begin the largest deportation operation in American history.
Mary Bruce tonight from Arizona. Also, former President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky face-to-face for the first time in more than 4 years after the two traded harsh comments this week. Trump told reporters he has a very good relationship with Zelensky. Rachel Scott reports.
Tonight, Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky standing side by side for the first time in 5 years. And just days after Trump lashed out at Zelensky and questioned the future of some of Ukraine. Trump has made the claim he could negotiate an end to the war in just 24 hours, but Zelensky has said that's not possible. Today, with Zelensky at his side, Trump said he has a good relationship with Zelensky, but that he also had a good relationship with Vladimir Putin, too. Not long after, Zelensky interjects, saying he hopes relations with Ukraine are better than with Putin.
We have a very good relationship. And I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly. I really think we're going to get it resolved.
I hope we have more good relations.
We're going to have, oh, I see. Yeah, but, you know, it takes two to tango, you know.
Trump initially had no plans to see Zelensky. Their meeting at Trump Tower scheduled at the last minute. The former president has repeatedly criticized the Ukrainian leader, insisting Zelensky should have made concessions to Russia to end the war. Trump refusing to say whether he wants Ukraine to win, saying this just days ago.
Those buildings are down. Those cities are gone. They're gone. And we continue to give billions of dollars to a man who refuses to make a deal, Zelensky.
Today's last-minute meeting came 24 hours after Zelensky stood with Vice President Kamala Harris, who vowed to stand by Ukraine, and who said what Trump and J.D. Vance have put on the table for Ukraine would be a surrender to Putin.
These proposals are the same of those of Putin. And let us be clear, they are not proposals for peace. Instead, they are proposals for surrender, which is dangerous and unacceptable.
Our thanks tonight to Rachel Scott. There is still much more to get to. Singer-songwriter Amare hails originally from Ghana and is bringing her one-of-a-kind fusion of pop, R&B, and Afro beats to sold-out crowds, opening now for Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet tour. But next, migrant crossings through the treacherous Darien Gap connecting Panama to Colombia are way down. Question? Why?
Hi, my name is Patrice. I am a totally cool person with a disability who could do most anything. Patrice always sees the best side of life. If it can be done, she will do it. I really love Gary. I just looked at her and I said, would you like to be my wife?
If you get married and you're collecting a Social Security benefit, your benefit will be cut.
We have to have it. We'd never be able to pay the bills. I don't take anything for granted.
You're a part-time love friend, full-time friend.
To us.
Monkey on your back is the latest trend. I don't see what anyone can see in anyone else.
They can stop us from getting married.
But you
but they're never gonna stop us from loving each other.
But you.
Star. From Hollywood, it's Dancing with the Stars.
Star. You know who I am, ain't had to say my name. Stack it up like Tetris, but this money ain't a game. How I eat, call I star. I get money, I'm a star. I get money, I'm a star.
Dancing with the Stars returns for a 2-night event starting Monday, October 7th.
Amanda Riley was a mother, wife.
Everybody loved her. I heard the words, "You have stage 3 blood cancer."
We gave our hearts, our prayers.
We thought she was God's gift, but she was a liar.
Why would somebody fake cancer?
There's all these pictures of her in the hospital with IVs, tubing. It was only a matter of time until Amanda's whole world came tumbling down.
Oh my God!
Scamanda premieres October 9th on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Reporting from the 2024 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, I'm Kira Phillips. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We are tracking several headlines around the world at this hour. We'll start in Sudan. 25 million people, that's more than half the population, is suffering from severe hunger. International aid has been blocked from reaching them by the Sudanese army, which is fighting a civil war. The United Nations has only gotten aid through once, and that was back in May. Migrant crossings throughout the treacherous Darien Gap connecting Panama to Colombia are down 35% this year. That's according to the Panamanian border officials. The drop attributed to stricter security measures by Panama's new government. They've closed some routes through the Jungle Passage and increased deportations with the support of the U.S. It also follows the Biden administration's broad asylum ban on migrants illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. And in Valencia, Spain, a mother-daughter team, one a microbiologist, the other an art restorer, using an innovative method to clean 18th century frescoes, training bacteria to eat stubborn glue off the paintings of church walls. They are setting their sights next on training another kind of bacteria to clear walls spray painted with graffiti. Our next guest is a Ghanaian-American singer-songwriter, Amare, who brings sound together from across the globe, uniting genres like pop, R&B, Afro beats. Across catalogs, she's racked up 11 billion global streams. As the executive producer of her most recent project, Roses Are Red, Tears Are Blue, her new EP was inspired by a new chapter in her life. Take a listen.
Sexy, 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 sexy.
That is the new single, Sweet. Amare joins us now here in studio. So good to have you. Thanks for stopping by.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start by talking about the inspiration for the new project.
Right. The inspiration, I think for me, everything starts with the concept of love, right? And I love to talk about love. I love to talk about the expression of love. And this time around, I think it was a little different for me. I was going through like heartbreak, you know, so a lot of that was inspired by just, you know, coming out of a potent situation and really just reflecting on it. And I think that also a journey and a return to self and figuring out who I was as a new person that had just gone through this experience and really allowing the music to be a therapy for me. So, yeah.
Was it?
It's always
time.
cathartic. It's always cathartic, yeah.
That's good. Your album, Fountain Baby, was loved by so many people, accumulating, what, nearly 3 billion streams. How do you think your particular style has influenced pop music around you?
I think that what my music has done is really allowed, or what I've seen it do is allow more of my peers to feel free to experiment within, like, within music, you know? Like, there's no more boundaries, you know? People aren't scared, like, if you do pop, now you can dabble in rock, now you can dabble in R&B, now you can dabble in metal, and I love that we can all sort of bring these different worlds together and create amalgamations of music, you know, that are true expressions of us. So I love that.
It's funny, to a person, every musician I have ever spoken to doesn't like the idea of genres.
No, yeah, because Genres can be limiting, and I think that once you love music, I mean, I'm sure you can relate. You yourself, you love music. Once you love music, you want to be able to express it in every way possible.
You're going to be opening up Sabrina Carpenter and Childish Gambino a little later on this year. That is just incredible. I'm wondering what your expectations are, what you're most looking forward to.
So I'm on tour with Sabrina right now. We just did the first 2 shows, and I have to say, I have been surprised at how receptive her fans have been and how excited they've been to see me open for her and how excited they've been about the music, but also just watching her show. She's so musical.
She's great.
Like, it's everything from pop to country to rock to like jazz to hip-hop to R&B, and it's all sewn in so beautifully into the show. So I think that just watching her and learning from her has been amazing for me. And with Donald, Childish Gambino, the production is going to be insane.
When you moved back to Ghana, there were naysayers who were like, you're never going to jump out onto the global stage. We're not going to see it. What are you doing? And I'm wondering, because you proved them wrong, I'm wondering if that was a motivator for you, or it was just something that was said along the way and you happened to prove them wrong. Was it a specific motivation?
Oh, it was an absolute motivator. I don't think that I've seen anyone get as much hatred from their home country as I have, which is, it's unfortunate, and I think that it also does have a lot to do with me being a woman, and then being a woman that's so bold and so expressive. I think that it kind of shocked people and it scared them, because then real conversations about our community need to happen, and real conversations about, you know, just the way that women are viewed and are allowed to express themselves. You don't have to conform. You don't have to fall into any boxes. You can absolutely pave whatever path you want. You just have to stick to it. You have to grind it out. You have to grit and, you know, and just see it through.
Amaray, thanks so much. It was great to meet you. And you can listen to Amaray's latest project, Roses Are Red, Tears Are Blue, wherever you stream music. Still to come, you know him as the angry retail guy on TikTok, how Scott Cease is now bringing his gripes about customer service and corporate culture to an even wider audience.
Monday morning, Luke Bryan is here at GMA, hanging with us live.
We cannot wait.
And then Luke's gonna perform live too.
Are you ready for that?
It's Luke, Monday, only on
Good Morning America.
SoCal Tower, it's some kind of insect.
That's a beast. Oh, yeah! That plane's coming right at us.
Mayday! Mayday!
Tonight, brace yourself. The riveting 911 3-part season premiere event continues.
Athena's on that flight, isn't she?
She's flying it.
Of course she is.
911, the 3-part season premiere event continues tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Sex, lies, and a double murder.
2 small children were kidnapped.
Your mom and dad are gonna be right here waiting on you when you get home.
When the twist came, then it completely exploded.
It's one of the craziest stories I've ever heard, and people don't know about it.
What kind of mother would kill her own children?
After nearly 30 years in prison, Smith now has a chance at parole. Could the woman once dubbed the most hated mom in America go free?
Killer Mom, now streaming on Hulu.
What's good to watch, read? Where can I get a great deal on what I'm just dying to buy? Oh, it's all right here. GMA Life. Get the latest celebrity buzz, deals and steals, and the coolest lifestyle tips from GMA.
I love that so much.
Streaming weekends on ABC News Live.
Welcome to the best season of the year. Football. Welcome to the comebacks, the stars, the exclusives, the comedy, and the best booth in the game.
Is that a new tie? Sure is.
Welcome to a dynasty in the making, a sibling rivalry for the ages. Welcome to the 2024 NFL season.
What are you doing?
Seriously?
These are my buttons. Only I press these buttons.
We turn now to our weekly segment, TikTok, where we take a closer look at the story behind the sensation. Multi-hyphenated comedian, actor, and content creator Scott Cease is best known as the angry retail guy to his 2 million TikTok followers, skyrocketing to fame with his viral sketches that bag up the worst parts of customer service and corporate culture. Now he's unpacked all of that frustration in his debut book, The Customer is Always Wrong, an unhinged guide to everything that sucks about work. Let's take a look.
At this job, we're a family. No, we're co-workers. We're in a store, not a Vin Diesel movie. What do you think this is, Fast and Furious 10, $10 an hour?
Scott joins us now. Scott, it's so great to have you. A lot of smiles watching your TikToks.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
The Customer is Always Wrong is all about the underpaid, overworked employees and the customers who make their jobs so much harder. The title hints at frustration, but what else can your readers expect from it?
Oh, you can expect a lot of stuff that I haven't even talked about in the videos, stuff like office culture, applying for a job. It basically just goes over the most annoying parts of, working every day, applying, and even the blissful part of leaving a job. There's even a whole chapter about that. So I always say it's the perfect read or gift for anyone who's ever had a bad day at work, which I think is 100% of people out there. I think that's correct.
I'm wondering,
especially news anchors, right?
we have days. My favorite comedy is comedy that everybody can relate to, and that's really what you're doing here, right? Like, there isn't one person who hasn't had a bad day at work.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I really struck a chord, and I was lucky enough to start posting these videos when I think people really started prioritizing having a healthier work-life balance, and then me doing this character of an employee who's just had it with everything that's overly stressful at his job and freaking out just really kind of took off. And of course, I've worked customer service jobs all my life, like while I was doing stand-up comedy in the evenings. And so everything in the videos is based off of stuff I actually heard at work, stuff like, oh, the website said this was in stock. Well, what do your eyes say? The website also has pictures of employees smiling. Do you see that? Like that kind of thing.
You've headlined comedy clubs as well all across the country, opening for Patton Oswalt, Joe Gatto, and others. How are you taking your comedy offline to the stand-up stage?
Oh, my gosh. Well, it's funny because I have been doing stand-up for about 10 years, but I never talked about customer service on stage. I only did it when I started using TikTok. And now when I go out and headline, I reserve like 15 minutes of the last part of the show to do a lot of the comedy kind of inspired from the videos. And I do a lot of crowd work where people just, stand up and tell me the worst things that have happened to them at their job. It's a communal healing process. Okay, it's very cathartic. And I tell people to invite their bosses. I ask people if they want me to quit for them. I've called a few managers from the stage. That's what I'll say.
Do you incorporate any of the things you hear at your shows?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I'll tell you this. After my shows, people always come up to me and they say, Scott, I could write a book with the things I've seen at work. I could fill a book. And then I started to think, I could fill a book too. So all of this whole writing this comedy book was inspired by the workers who come out and support my stand-up.
Clearly you love what you do. It's really funny, and it's so great to talk to you. Scott, thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. You can check out Scott on TikTok at Scott Cease for equal parts retail rage and workplace wisdom. You can also find The Customer is Always Wrong anywhere books are sold. Nice to end on a laugh. That's our show for tonight. I'm Phil Lipoff. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Have a great night.
The case against Sean Combs might as well just be called the freak-offs. It's all about the freak-offs.
Freak-offs, what prosecutors described as orgies.
Freak-off, what is that?
Him having sex workers have sex with his partner while he watches or participates or whatever.
He was known to have the Midas touch, and now his touch is anything but golden. It's allegedly criminal.
sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, interstate transportation for prostitution.
The AK-47s, the 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Diddy in court, pleading not guilty and denied bail.
Sean Combs is being treated like a mob boss.
He's explosive.
I can't unsee that Cassie video. You could tell me whatever you want to tell me about him. I cannot unsee the video. This very powerful man in the music industry decided to use his power to hurt others. Time's up.
Diddy, drugs, lies, and freak-offs. Now streaming on Hulu.
From Hollywood, it's Dancing with the Stars.
You know who I am, ain't had to say my name. Stack it up like Tetris, but this money ain't a game. How I eat, call I star. I get money, I'm a star. I get money, I'm a star.
Dancing with the Stars returns for a 2-night event starting Monday, October 7th.
Hi, my name is Patrice. I am a totally cool person with a disability who could do most anything. Patrice always sees the best side of life. If it can be done, she will do it. I really love Gary. I just looked at her and I said, would you like to be my wife?
If you get married and you're collecting a Social Security benefit, your benefit will be cut.
We have to have it. We'd never be able to pay the bills. I don't take anything for granted.
You're a part-time love friend, full-time friend.
To us.
Monkey on your back is the latest trend. I don't see what anyone can see in anyone else. They can stop us from getting married. But they're never gonna stop us from loving each other. But you.
Reporting from the path of Hurricane Helene in Tallahassee, Florida, I'm Mike Ajachi. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
This is a world that is changing very quickly. This was just filled with forests.
There.
Be honest. Do you think if you were not doing this kind of work, what would happen? True natural beauty, unbridled, untouched, one of the last of its kind. But this kind of incredible beauty comes at a cost. 5 countries, 5 incredible real stories of adventure, danger, and deceit. These are the last lands, the national parks around the world that have to be saved. Something is happening outside of Cambodia's capital city. To document it, we're going beyond the city's growing economy, its expanding factories. Cambodia actually has one of the highest deforestation rates in the world. But ironically, on paper, the country is supposed to be made up of stunning nature reserves. We've hired local fixer and journalist Srey Vuda. He says there's a place where we can see what's really happening here. Where are we going now?
Right now, we are going to the Bottom Sakor National Park.
Bottom Sakor is about 500,000 acres of land, a 6-hour drive from the city. It was declared protected in the early 90s, but for years now, companies based out here have stopped journalists from filming in the park.